talk about it later.
All right, no, we're in it. Now you have to explain it.
Now Junk
Now
Troller.
explain it?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing is, in the future, we're at a complete mucky board stall, as often happens in this cube.
Yeah.
And I just loop Gingerbread, sacrificing Gingerbread every turn and putting it back on the bottom of my library with Junk Trawler. That's my plan.
I was thinking, I was assuming it was going to
you.
be like Sundering Stroke to just deal me 7 over again, but I like the thinking of just
What? Target? Oh, any card. I like that better. No, I mean, it does make sense with the Rebel package.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, right. Lin Civvy does it. That actually does make some. I actually kind of forgot about the fact that you can do that because
Yes.
Lin Civvy does that on its own. But yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to Lucky Paper. I'm Andy
Welcome
off-screen
back.
doing production. We have Anthony and Max here.
Hello.
Playing games from Max's Recruited Revelry Cube. Max, give us a quick introduction to the cube that you can finish laying out your deck as Anthony explains his deck.
All right. So my cube is based around small creatures. Small being relative and referring to creatures that have either power or toughness 2 or less. So often both. So they can be fetched with one of the recruiters, either Imperial Recruiter or Recruiter of the Guard, which are both in here, obviously.
What about Goblin Recruiter? You ever think about that?
There are
You
goblins.
ever just think about ignoring Goblin Recruiter?
I
This is
always
Goblin
do.
Recruiter Erasure.
Because Goblin Recruiter allows you to stack your deck, and no one wants to do that.
I love doing it.
No. No, let me be more specific. No one wants to have someone else do that.
Yes,
That's correct.
That is true.
Anyway,
So creatures are all small in one
quote-unquote
dimension
small.
at least.
Yeah. So starting with that as a starting point, and then I just did other things that I liked. So like I like longer games, and I like recursion, and sort of these big plans. In particular, like one of the things I'm really excited about the cube is I have a lot of like small cards that are like quote unquote bad, but like work with other combos. So like Junk Trawler's kind of junky. It's not amazing, but it has specific interactions with, say, Tormod or Birding Your Rebels back. It also specifically has, I've got Tunnel Vision and things like that. So that's another thing I'm really happy about.
All right.
Yeah. There you
Anthony, what you playing, boy?
So I'm feeling not great about this matchup, having seen the other decks I'm going to be playing against, but my plan was white was definitely open, so to try and draft well and find the open colors. I feel good about that, and I also tried to lean into another feature of this cube, which is that Max has modified a bunch of creatures to make them into rebels. So specifically, I've got Gingerbrute and Extraction Specialist, which seems really strong here, and Junk Trawler, which in theory is going to let me sort of loop some of those things. And yeah, I mean, I've seen Max play the modified custom Rebel deck a couple times, and it is definitely a thing that I lose to consistently, so I kind of tried to force that a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. Otherwise, I just tried to go for things that generate as much card advantage as possible, because the games in this environment tend to get pretty grindy. I'm splashing a little bit of black and some red for some of those more recursive things, some of those card advantage type things. I just hope I get to do cool stuff with Core Skyfisher, let's be honest. That's
the real MVP.
all I really want to do, and that's my plan. I want to just like deck somebody while looping Gingerbrute and Junk Trawler.
The more I'm looking at it, that actually is like a much better plan than I initially gave you credit for.
Thank you.
Wow.
It looks horrible against Andy's deck, which is just going to generate more bigger stuff than I can, and also it has a lot of graveyard hate.
Unfortunately, the life gain is not as important here. Life totals aren't as important of a resource.
I had like one major goal going into CubeCon last year, and it was just like not to get salty about anything, because to be around people I don't know, and I can wear my emotions on my sleeve sometimes, and I was like, that's a big goal of mine, and I pretty much nailed my goal. It didn't get salty at all, except for one match where I was playing Max, and he was playing. And he was playing Rebels in the old Border Foil cube, and I had this beautiful like blue-red counter burn deck.
Yeah.
And both games he just went turn one, dinky little fuck ass
And
rebel.
and then do
Get
nothing
under my counter magic, and then I just stand there with a handful of counter magic, and he's like, this big old smile on his face.
You didn't get salty against
grinning
strangers,
from ear to ear.
So I think
that was
this as
I went to the
small-
sunken place, man. I was in the dark
I was
world.
having a great time.
I
so
could
was
tell.
fine.
That's part of why it made me so effing mad.
Yeah.
All right, Max, what are you playing tonight?
So I have Rebels. I even have the Queen. Actually, you know what I learned? Sorry, this is going to be a total aside. I'll get to this at the end of the deck. I'll go over the deck first. So I am also a white-based deck that has Rebels. I have Lin Civvy and Blightspeaker, who is accidentally in a 3-drop slot, as my Rebels, as my like tutors, and I've got a couple of other ones, including
special guest,
including Vengeful Rebel and Renegade Rallier as my like new Rebels kind of a thing, because of course Vengeful Rebel has to be a Rebel. But So the whole point is put creatures into play and then use things like I have Pendlehaven Elder, Pendlehaven, and Best to sort of and Gavany Township to sort of pump them up with a little bit of recursion from Graceful Restoration. I also have Call for Unity to bump things up. Yeah.
Anthony, James has pointed out that you can, in fact, bottom your opponent's stuff with Junk Troller.
Yeah. I think that's probably like the primary good use case. but that's going to slow down my mill strategy.
Yeah.
Well, you two can shuffle up while you give whatever anecdote you were going to give.
Here's the anecdote. So I don't really know a lot about Magic Story. But one of the things when I was looking into this and I wanted to have like, I had come up with the idea of, incidentally, it was like about a month before Infinity was like previewed. The idea of putting stickers on Magic cards. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll just put like a sticker or something on the Rebel, on the thing to like denote Rebels, because I'd come up with this idea, and I wanted to like have like a good symbol or something, and I was like, okay, my friend has a like sticker printer, and I was like, okay, can you like, and is also an artist, and I was like, can you draw me something? And I was like thinking through designs or whatever, and I was like, okay, in my head, Lin Civvy is like the leader because it's the best Rebel, it's like the thing that it's all about.
The iconic Rebel card, I would say.
Apparently Lin Civvy is just like a person. It's Ella Domri is the one leading the rebellion.
What do you mean she's just a person?
She's just like a warrior.
You know that everyone's
she's not like a leader.
Just a person, right?
She's not like a lead. I always assumed
she doesn't have a leadership role within the rebellion.
It's Ella Domri's rebellion. Lin Civvy
he's not even a rebel.
No, he's not.
This just in, Magic Story sucks. You heard it here first.
Aren't rebels kind of like...
At least Magic Story circa Mercadian masks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right, that's like peak Magic Stories entirely unrelated to the card design. Like, time period. Where we make the story and we make the cards and never the two shall meet except by accident.
I mean, the flavor text on Obliterate is pretty great.
Yeah, that one's great. But like for the most part,
I even have a foil old border Obliterate I bought just because I liked the flavor text so much.
It's so good.
High roll?
Yeah.
8. I will take the play.
Excellent.
Good luck to you both.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when I learned that this is only 6 cards.
Yeah, the wrong Obliterate has very bad flavor text.
There's a they printed a different Obliterate.
They did reprint it in Commander product, I think, or something.
With different flavor text. That's weird. Like I can absolutely understand.
I think it's still the same illustration too, but just different flavor text.
All right, I am going to keep my hand. It is not maybe the tempo that I would be most excited about, but I think it will be okay.
Oh, that's right. It was an 8th edition, too. They had Obliterate in 8th edition.
Weird.
Well, that was back when the core sets were mostly reprints from,
like,
appealing reprints from that year's standard sets, pretty much.
All right. This is actually, like, I'm not entirely sure. I really want to keep because, like, this interaction is really strong with, like, this is actually kind of anti-synergy, but, like, this is a really strong interaction, and this is definitely one of the better cards in my deck. But, like, this hand also doesn't, quote-unquote, doesn't do anything, which I think is, even if, like, obviously I'm going to have some time, I think it's just not good enough. So I'm going to send it back.
Back it goes.
Which is the good flavor text.
The original printing is the good flavor text. It's an... Oh, what's
Forest Family.
Scourge that it's in?
Oh, I can't tell you
the original printing of Obliterate?
It's whatever.
Someone on Scryfall will be able to tell you imminently. It's
like
Scourge or Torment or Invasion.
Invasion.
Donald says Invasion, so it's Invasion.
We'll trust that.
That actually makes sense if you think about the story, which I never do, obviously.
The flavor text is...
Also, hi, Donald.
Yeah, the flavor text is, for his family, Baron made a pyre of Dominaria.
Yeah.
And it's Baron, like, setting everything on fire because his family died. It's really good. Like, I don't even care about them. Like, I don't even know this. Oh, Teleria, you're right. It's Teleria, like, it's burned.
Yeah, all of Dominaria would be wild.
All that storytelling's bad, and then you're like, look at this fantastic story they managed to tell just with a sentence and one little illustration on a piece of a card. Like, I think that's what's great about the early Magic story is there's so much mystery and like they like these little windows that imply a lot of space that isn't really defined, and I feel like that's very, very different from the current Magic story where it's like much more fleshed out, much more concrete, and to me it feels like a much smaller world because of how much it feels more refined in a way.
I never spent any time thinking about that, but I immediately agree with you completely.
Thank you. Maybe that's why we hang out so much.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to keep this hand.
All right, fantastic.
Hold on. Let me put this
Sorry,
card.
my hand's backwards.
Oh, disappointing. All right, I'm going to show off what it is, though, and put a card to the bottom.
I'll check in with the dog.
How is Sadie doing? All right, so this is my hand. I believe this is the card I'm putting back, even though it's quite good. This is just like
Is it quite good?
I mean, not exactly, but I
think it's pretty easy bottom here.
It's definitely like fine. Yeah, I definitely still need some other things so I can do that. But yeah.
All right, picked up that hand.
Yeah, your hands.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. So James, the thing is, the thing.
I'm start with the Scattered Groves.
Hey, thanks for the
Captain
follow,
say
Anthony
go.
Caps.
Oh, Anthony,
Is that me?
it's you.
No, are you Anthony Caps? No,
I don't think so.
you're not.
I'm gonna play a Plains and Pass.
I'll untap.
The thing
I'll
is,
draw a card.
like that flavor text.
I'm gonna play a Fabled Passage and say go.
The flavor text would be good
I'm going
if
to
that were
crack
the only
this
flavor text.
during your draw step.
But the problem is, at least to me, because the original card has such an emotional component to that, it feels really weird to turn that part into a joke. Like it's, I think that's the thing is like the flavor text is sort of good on its own, like as like a reasonably funny standing, but the like turning from an emotional thing that has like this resonance to just like, haha, big fire, is it feels like a miss.
It's a pretty funny
that feels
big
like a
fire
miss.
though. When you think about it.
It's a pretty big fire. All right, you passed?
yes.
Cool. Oh, let's go.
Love to hear that.
Get a bird.
Yep.
It's going to go search for 2 more birds.
Somebody
Get 2
didn't mulligan
birds.
anymore.
Oh, let's go.
You've been unmulliganed.
It's the bird of
Neat.
Unmulligan.
If you know you're not up against counter magic, I guess you know you're not up against counter magic, and you're also not up against discard. But is it correct if you know there's no counter spells, but don't know if there's no discard to just only get 1?
No, because you might draw it.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a pretty big
I'm
and I
dot
not
size.
going to discard a hand size. It's just better. Like, I might draw it. I don't like. I get if the shuffle were useful.
Is that your turn, I
maybe.
assun?
No, because you can use the shuffle anyway. Yeah, that's my turn.
Yeah, you can shuffle even
you
if
can
you don't
always
find
just shuffle
anything.
I'm
anyway.
gonna draw a card. I'm gonna play a Plains. Pay 3 mana. I should probably read this card. Yeah. I'm going to cast Prosperous Partnership. When this enters the battlefield, I will make 2.
I like this card.
Yeah, I do too.
I think this is actually the first time I've played it. I've been wrecked by it a couple times in our friend Daniel's old gold
Wait.
cube.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I just want to do stuff with it with Core Skyfisher. And I'll say go.
I really want to. I think my favorite thing about Prosperous Partnership is where you can make Sprout Swarm at home from it, like really well. Which is you turn 3 creatures into 1 mana, and you have like a thing that makes creatures for mana. It's
Okay.
It's Sprout Swarm at home. It's really good because I listen. I like Sprout
I
Swarm.
always have Sprout Swarm at home because I stopped putting it into cubes.
Yeah.
So it's at my house.
Are you excited about? Everyone's talking about Core Skyfisher interactions with this new red-white card from the Commander product.
Oh.
The one with an X in its cost and Convoke, and you make X 1/1 tokens that deal damage to your opponent whenever they become tapped.
Oh, interesting.
And it's pretty sick with Core Skyfisher at all because you obviously play it, make a bunch of tokens, and then you play the Core Skyfisher, put the thing back, and you can make double the tokens, and also tapping all those tokens then deals damage to your opponent.
That's kind of cool.
It's kind of hot fire.
I actually really like Core
I'll take
Skyfisher
1.
over Linsivy. Even over like I like Core Skyfisher more than White Man Lion.
Oh, for sure.
Because I
I
think
think
that,
we
like,
all agree Core Skyfisher is the best designed
Yeah.
Core Skyfisher.
Anything
Definitely.
else?
Yeah, you go.
I'm going to untap. Draw a
I actually
card
almost
for
like
turn.
didn't want to
Wildfire Waker is the name of the card. Thank you, Shindir.
There we go.
Play a Plains and read your card.
Oh,
Search your library for a rebel with command mana cost X or less. That seems fine.
So you
Put a
gotta get
rebel
rid of your
from
Prosperous
graveyard
Partnership.
somewhere.
It's got the Masked Vandal in there.
I do, but I need a creature in the yard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, you do. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I should have kept. This.
And it's a 1/3.
It's a 1/3. It's
She's up.
just the biggest.
Lynn
booty
Civvy
version.
caked up, confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. I'm gonna cast Oblivion Ring.
Resolves.
I will target Lynn Civvy, and
in
then
response,
I will go to
I will-
combat, and I will attack you for 2.
I guess I can technically use Lynn Civvy to just shuffle. It's summoning sick.
Has
But yeah.
summoning sickness,
I'll take 2. Thank you.
and I will say go.
You want to move that O-ring down either towards you or towards the center of the table by 2 inches.
That's over the thing. Okay.
You don't have to do both, but sure.
How's that?
Perfect.
How we doing?
Cool.
Doing a little gardening here. Get everything nice and straight. I will take one from a bird.
I'm going to cast a bird.
You cast a bird. Trigger.
Cast a bird.
You cast a bird. Trigger.
Would you like to shuffle twice?
No. I will shuffle 0 times.
Declining to shuffle. Interesting. Okay. All untap.
Must just hate randomness.
Yeah, must hate
Must
shuffling.
hate randomness.
Draw
Or just
a
shuffling.
card. All right, so what am I doing here?
You know, one of the first things when I learned about Commander, which I haven't played very much of, but when I first learned about it and I was
I'll play
still
a
learning
plains.
Magic,
Mm-hmm.
I built one Commander deck and I was really excited when I was searching Scryfall and I found Soldier of Fortune, which is a red for a 1/1 that allows you to pay red and tap it to target player shuffles their library.
Oh yes.
And
yes,
I was just like, but what if I just make my opponent shuffle their 100-card deck? That's just very funny to
You
me.
do realize this is like the most disturbing sicko thing you've ever said. This is horrible behavior.
I was just like, that was I didn't have any
All right, I'll go to
intentions behind it
combat.
other than just,
Get in there.
My birds are better. I'll
All
take
right,
2.
take 2. Then I'm going to spend 3 mana and cast a
Oh.
Defiant Vanguard, and I will pass the turn.
All right. Now here's the question. Do you know what Defiant Vanguard's text is?
Uh,
And how is it different from Death Touch?
do I know it's text? No, but also I did read it a couple times already today.
It is very
Well,
weird.
when it blocks at end of combat, destroy all creatures.
yeah,
it
doesn't have
blocked
to deal
this
damage
turn.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
It also
It also
is a triggered ability, so you could still sacrifice it to stuff.
yeah.
It's a delayed trigger, I believe. So I think you can just block with it, sacrifice it, and still have the thing go away.
Right.
Yeah. I usually just say it's Death Touch because that's just so much easier, but it doesn't technically work as Death Touch because it doesn't work on attacks. Birds are going to get in.
Yeah, no blocks. I'll go to 15.
Cool. I will play Call for Unity.
Yuck.
Yeah, whenever there's a number with a descender, the life total gets smaller. OBS remains a mystery. I'm just going to use a different font for that.
As your life total decreases?
No, if the number goes below the baseline, like that 15, see how
yeah,
it,
I can see
it made
that.
It made the 15 smaller because it couldn't fit
Oh,
it. If you go back up to 16, it gets big again. 15
Is
gets
it
small.
because 5 goes down below the line? I
I
guess.
guess OBS is inscrutable.
I will untap.
Amazing.
They have settings for all this
Draw a
stuff, and I swear I've
card.
done the correct thing in the settings multiple times, but alas.
I don't know what rebels he's got. That's the real
I will
challenge.
play a Fabled Passage.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and crack that. Get.
Prosperous Partnership, pretty great
Swap.
with Rebels.
Yeah. Also.
Why do you say that? Just for being able to ramp a bunch?
Yeah. Just
Well,
rebels
ju-
are very mana
Also,
intensive.
you could
Yeah.
also just hold up either going and getting a Rebel if you want to, or just making some treasures.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, while I'm shuffling, that's a good call. Let me.
Oh yeah, use this. Honestly, I've definitely thought about instituting the rule of just you can just look at your if you haven't shuffled or anything like that, just look at your deck to remember what rebels are in it. That wouldn't be a
That
rule.
seems
That would
problematic.
it wouldn't be a rule. It would just be like a friendliness thing of just it's hard to remember exactly what all your tutor targets are.
So the question is, you've got 3 cards in hand, and you
That
have
is
this
correct.
Call for Unity that's going to make all your creatures
If
tremendous.
I can trigger revolt, yeah.
If you can trigger Revolt, which I don't want that to happen. Although I do want to attack you for 4, but I don't want to be attacked for 6. I think what we're
Can't block
gonna
anyway.
do is, I can make a treasure.
That's true.
I'm going to make a treasure.
All right, cool.
I'm going to spend 7 mana, including my
Ooh.
treasure. I'm
Oh.
going to stroke your birds.
All right. How you,
Scared me. It's loud in the
All right,
headphones.
Here's my
Sorry,
question. How are you
it's
dividing your
just-
damage?
2, 2, 3.
All right, cool.
I was just caught a little off guard by
Stroking
stroking the
birds.
birds.
Just reading the cards, my dude. And I'll pass
Birds
the
have
turn.
been stroked.
That was maybe a little bit of an aggressive use of that, but I feel like I just don't win against a bunch of 2/2 birds. And they only get bigger.
It's an interesting question.
Donald, it is the computer that is wrong.
I think I just do this. Yeah. Okay.
Do you stroke with the feathers or against them?
You definitely got to go with.
I
Well,
mean-
it depends on
I
what
mean,
you
he's
want to do.
literally trying to kill them, so.
If you're trying to kill him, I guess you probably
Those
go
are 2
against.
separate actions. That is stroking and ruffling.
Wow.
That's true. Stroking is definitely with.
Really makes you think.
All right, I'm going to
Really?
play Orzhov Basilica.
Yep.
I'm going to return Orzhov Basilica to
Absolutely.
hand.
You got it.
I will cast Vengeful Rebel.
What does that do?
if I have Revolt, which I do, I can give my target creature -3/-3 until end of turn.
I don't like that.
I'll target Defiant Vanguard. I will then go to my end step.
Untap.
And put a counter on Call.
Yeah, I really wanted to take that card. There was something I took instead of it, obviously.
Call for Unity
is
definitely like it's actually like really perfect for this environment because it's pretty slow and dorky, and like triggering Revolt can sometimes be annoying, but it is a powerful engine.
And now you're just left with a 3/2 that's actually a 4/3.
That is correct.
I mean, I'm
trying to fix this number thing, chat, and the transform menu. Look, it's just nothing is appearing.
Oh, you just get nothing.
Yeah, I mean that I've done it. That's where you go to the menu to do it, but nothing is appearing. Sometimes it appears on another window.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cast. That's a little dangerous, but I'm gonna cast an ossification.
Sure.
And I will exile your Vengeful Rebel.
Sure.
Oh no, now this won't go away. Oh no.
Let's just say this is. You said there's not much that can actually interact with the lands.
Pretty sure there's nothing that can destroy it.
We'll say it's interacting with one of these planes in a way.
That's fine.
Do I want a treasure or do I want to deal 2 to you?
Oh, that's why Vindicate's not in the queue because destroying a bounce land would be really good.
Yeah.
I'll attack you for 2.
People tend to not like that.
Yeah. And I don't. I'm trying to get people to play the bounce lands, rather than not play them. Yeah, you just get nothing.
Edit transform. Here we go. I can do it up here. This other menu.
Speaking of getting nothing, I will pay 3, cast an Extraction Specialist,
all right.
and I'll pass the turn.
You did 2 to max.
Yep.
Trying to. Oh, I never gave you the trackpad. You pass me that trackpad, Anthony? Do you not need the trackpad?
No.
All right. I'm gonna start by playing Ursa Basilica and picking up Ursa Basilica.
You got it.
I guess that's not yet. I'm going to put your whole ossification in a hole.
Yeah, I was worried about... Oops. Yeah,
and I'm going to kill the Extraction Specialist.
You got it.
I will then play Saltfield Recluse. And go to my end step.
Yeah.
Bounding box type.
Untap.
No bounds?
Draw.
Nope, that's bad. Undo that. Oh, no. There's no undo. This is awful.
There's a reset, but I'm sure that I don't know if that resets everything.
I will cast a Dross Spellbomb.
Yeah.
Pay 3 to crack the Dross Spellbomb, target the Extraction Specialist, and I will draw a card.
Oh god, this is going so badly. Why did I decide to change things mid-stream?
Don't worry about it. That'll be fine. Trash talk.
And you now have a Saltfield Recluse, and again, now it's a 5/3. Man, this card. Let's play a Plains and cast an Extraction
do the same
Specialist.
thing to your life total.
And say go.
Edit.
Cool.
Transform. Edit transform.
How big is this?
Good evening, Zoe.
5/4.
Welcome.
That's fine. I'm gonna go to combat.
Yeah.
Attack for 5.
No blocks. Go to 10.
Cool. I'm gonna play Urza Basilica and pick up Urza Basilica and pass the turn.
And every turn I will make a treasure.
Yeah.
At last.
Okay, I think I fixed it. The question is it going to align properly? We go down to 1 digit now, and I'm not sure.
Don't worry.
There's so many pieces of this.
I will untap. I will draw a card. Okay, that's nothing. You're at 14.
Yeah, and I have a 4/5.
Question from Alveric in the chat. Tried to pitch a roto draft to my local playgroup and it has been met with total silence. What are your favorite parts of a roto/perks in a sentence or two to win over new folks?
The lack of silence, which seems like a tough sell.
Yeah, I mean, the fun part is really being in chat with your friends for 2 weeks and talking a bunch of trash. If you don't really have like a trash talking group, it could be maybe not that fun.
Definitely, like, organizing can be, like, really hard.
Play a Ginger Brute.
Yeah.
Hey, Catchios, thanks for the follow. I missed it because I was fiddling with my numbers to make them the same size.
Gotta get those numbers up. Let's just... Do I want to attack you for 1, or do I just want to be able to... I think just like blocking with this Gingerbrute is where I'm at in my life. It's really sad. I'm going to cast a Junk Troller.
Oh! Junk Troller has arrived.
It's here.
It's also got like a thick booty.
Hey, thanks, Cachios. We try to bring the
Unfortunately,
enthusiasm.
I can punch through it, but yeah.
Say go.
You can also, if you attacked for 1, I could have just activated Salt Field.
Yeah.
We played once, and I almost considered taking out Salt Field.
Yeah, I was really
exclusively because of how
yeah.
much it tilted you.
I forgot about it like 3 times and played really
it
badly.
Just like demolished him. It would basically like every turn was he would do something, and I would point to the Salt Field Recluse, and he would go down a card.
Everything was lost.
All right, I'm gonna go to combat.
You're in combat.
I'm gonna attack for 6.
I will block with the Gingerbrute.
Yeah.
I will eat the Gingerbrute.
Yeah.
I will gain 3 life.
No, we set up a Discord for each Roto draft, Alveric, and trash talk in there. Maybe if your group is not excited about it, you should just start trash talking before they agree to do it.
Yeah,
just be like, "Oh, you don't want a Roto draft because you're a fucking coward." Is that why?
Are you advising that our listeners neg their friends?
I mean,
like that.
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna play Vespa.
No one should neg anybody.
I'm gonna play Orzapasilik and pick it back up.
Okay. So, sorry, your creatures they're huge now, which means you should sacrifice them because they have greater than 2 power and toughness.
It's a consideration.
Right?
No.
Okay.
I will pass the turn.
End of your turn, I will make a treasure.
Yeah.
I'm at least making treasure. That's something.
The real treasures and the creatures you tap along the way.
Can't use him yet, so that's fine. I'll draw a card for turn.
It's a different kind of commitment, though, Shindir. Like, I know some people that are much sooner to commit to a Roto draft over 2 weeks than they are to like a 3.5-hour draft night.
Yeah.
The idea that it's kind of like off. It's like asynchronous, I think, makes it a different sort of thing.
Yeah, you can do it in like separate, like small. I've never done a Roto draft, but you can definitely do it in. It's definitely like more conducive to some stuff where you can just like do it in small chunks. Like it takes you 5 minutes of a day. Maybe you've got 30 minutes here to really plan out a strategy or something.
You can also just tell them that like you get to draft the best possible decks in the cube. That's a fun part. You get
gonna go to combat.
45 first picks, kind of.
This guy's now got 7 power?
Yeah.
It's really unreasonable.
7 power, 6 power.
Let's cast Swords to Plowshares on the Vesperlark.
Cool. So swords. I will gain 6 and put a Squadron Hawk into play.
Oh, it's a leaves trigger.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And now your stupid bird is still a 5/5. This is impossible.
Call for Unity seems
no
cracked.
blocks.
I will say
take
this is the first time I've ever
7.
actually seen anyone do anything with it. Because normally it just doesn't.
I mean, I wish I remembered what I picked over it, but it was. I think I might have taken Extraction Specialist.
I would take
actually.
Extraction Specialist over it.
Yeah.
Well, then play Orzapasilik and pick up
Yes.
Orzapasilik. I mean, right? This is the real interaction here.
I will make a third treasure.
It's the reason why I'm like the bounce. It's one of the reasons why I like it is because it's so good with bounce lands, which gets people to play more bounce lands.
All right, I will untap. I will draw a card.
I don't know. I feel clever when I'm just like, I'm just like doing a thing that that it was not entirely intended. So you Max a Cube Twitter person now, not really.
You have 2 huge creatures.
I have a Twitter that I read some things and I vaguely pay attention to it, but I don't tweet out things. I don't really communicate.
I'll go to combat.
Yeah.
I'll attack you for 2.
I'm like a little scared about this. I mean, my creatures are huge and I can shrink it down.
Or you're at 20.
Honestly, part of me really wants to just do, I'm trying to think of what would even be in here.
What even would it be?
I will block with a hawk.
Block one of them?
No, that's not true. The Saltfield Recluse is worse. I'm going to block one of them with a Saltfield Recluse. What's happening here? I want to see it.
Go to damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I'll take 1.
Got you at 19. Second main. I will pay
check.
4. I will cast Rick's Maudie Reveler.
Ah, there you go.
Discard my hand. Draw 3.
That's what it gets you there for.
I do love Rick's Maudie Reveler.
It's a cool card.
What a joy of a
4
card.
Creatures. Man, that sucks.
Definitely feels Rick's Maudie Reveler definitely feels real nice on either side, which is cool.
I would give anything for better alignment tools in OBS. They are so bad.
Play a Plains.
So bad.
a Minesweeper draft. Do you guys know what a Minesweeper draft is?
Yeah.
Is it where you put like
I think it's
instead of a wheel pick, you accidentally get a dud?
You basically lay out the entire cube upside down in this like pattern, and then you flip a card over, and then you flip all the cards it's touching over, and you can only pick from the visible cards, and then that flips over more cards.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
It
sounds like a lot.
I think it's
pretty
a little extra, personally.
Yeah, it's definitely like a lot.
Like,
that's a full commitment.
It's the kind of draft that I think sounds cooler.
Oh yeah, I would never do more
and
than
looks
one.
cooler than when you actually do it, and you're like, oh.
All right, I'll pay 2. I will cast Core Skyfisher.
Core Skyfisher has solved.
Trigger, I will pick up Prosperous Partnership.
Right, you took one.
Sure.
And then I will pay 2 and a treasure and cast Prosperous Partnership. Trigger.
Tentacle Monster confirms it was very cool to do a. Damn it! They're back to being shrunk. What the?
just don't worry about it.
I just can't seem to.
There is a solution.
I don't know that there is.
You just delete them.
I have to. I think I'm
you don't acknowledge our life totals.
Use a different font.
And then
I
I'll
think.
pass the turn.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna play the bounce line, pick it back up.
Really? Are you sure about that?
The real jerk is I've got a bunch of green cards in my hand. I believe I'm just in the mode of attack. Actually, no, that's not true.
Because I have to have a bounding box on this
with these
thing.
things.
Okay, this guy is 6/6.
Yeah.
Okay, let me sacrifice 2 treasures.
Sure.
And cast Kabira Takedown on your bird to deal 7 damage to it.
Let's go. Bird down.
Then I will go to blocks.
Yeah.
I will block with a citizen token.
Yeah.
And
This
I will
sucks.
tap 3 creatures to make a treasure.
OBS.
And then lose a citizen.
Trash
Cool.
program. Awful. I mean, it's free.
Go to
And it lets
Insta.
us do all this amazing
Yep.
stuff, so I can't really
There you go.
complain. But
I will
Dang, it's so
make
annoying.
a second treasure.
Treasure popping off.
ooh, fighting game style life bars. Don't tempt me.
What would you do for when they get more than 20? It just doesn't happen.
I mean, you could have a like
Draw.
blowing the bar up
Yeah,
style.
I guess that's true.
All right, so now you have a 6/7. Sorry, 7/8.
Yeah.
You're at 19. I feel great about all this.
Sorry, Donald. I'll stop talking about the fonts. I'm just mad.
Yeah.
I'll
I
go
know-
to combat.
Yeah.
2 in the air.
I'll shrink it.
Okay. Oh, gotta make you do it, right? So go.
I am really glad. Like, let me say, from a new player perspective, it's a really good thing that they don't print. This used to be like a very common white effect,
Yeah.
and it's a really good thing that they don't do things like this or damage prevention. I'm gonna go to combat and attack for like a lot. 9.
Yeah, more than life total.
Yeah.
I will block with a citizen.
Sure.
I will tap 3 and make a treasure.
Sure. I'm gonna play Simic Growth Chamber and pick up planes.
Okay.
I will pass the turn.
Wow, green mana.
Green mana unlocked.
Cannot make another treasure, but that doesn't
I'll
really
go to my
matter
end step
anyway.
and get another thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a really good good thing that they don't do this because
hell
it's
yeah.
like absolutely demolishes people.
Field surgeon
Play
hours.
a mountain.
Dude, Field Surgeon, it's one of those things that I really can enjoy playing against it, but the problem is the range for that is so high on the amount of just like, yeah, you just completely demolish people who don't know what's going
Field
on.
surgeon
Pass the turn.
Field surgeon's nuts.
Yeah. All right. Go to combat.
I'm actually going to block with Reveler.
Sure.
And I will tap 3 things to make a treasure.
Sure.
Bane fire him for lethal, Anthony.
Do it.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Just get up to 20 mana.
All right. So we're gonna cast a couple of things here now.
I just have to play
Weathered Wayfarer.
2 stuffy dolls and then recast Sundering Stroke.
Does Junk Troller put things in the bottom, or does it shuffle it in?
It puts them in the bottom.
Puts 'em on the bottom.
It's important because the Ravnica limited combo was Junk Trawler plus Tunnel Vision, which is also present in the cube. That's why I thought of Junk Trawler.
It's president of the cube.
Yeah. Honestly, I would love to have a cube called Junk Trawler. I'm going to play Oars of Basilica and pick it back up so I don't forget. And so I've triggered Revolt.
I'm just wondering, is it correct for you to be junk trawling every turn just to put your best cards back on bottom, or do
So,
you have other things that care about your
Depends if you
graveyard?
shuffle or not.
I have other things that care about my graveyard, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm not sure.
Yeah, James, Field Surgeon, 2-mana common.
Just demolish.
You can
everyone.
tap it even if it's summoning sick. It's disgusting. To be fair, that was at a time where Magic wasn't really about
Play.
combat at all, so
Yeah.
it kind of went unnoticed when people were
Slows Knee Evangel.
casting multiple memory jars in the first turn of the game.
And I will pass the turn.
All right, I will untap.
It's possible I don't need to do this revolting thing anymore. I can just play
Draw.
regular.
Yeah, I mean, all of your creatures are
They're all lethal.
so I would agree that you don't have to do it. All right.
Where's the value?
Who's got the value? Pay 3 for everyone's favorite Mentor of the Meek.
Yeah.
Here
Mentor the Meek also really
to
good
help
in
the
this
small
format.
boys. You know what? Actually, Mentor of the Meek is maybe what I took over.
I would
that.
take Mentor the Meek. Yeah, it's one of the strongest cards in the cube.
I thought so, but it looks pretty bad right now. Say go, but now you just have too many creatures.
Yeah.
Can I read this? And by read it, I mean
It makes 8/8s.
what's going on with the
It
text?
does
Or
technically.
9/9s
The
or
problem
whatever.
is it has to tap creatures.
That's really a big problem. What a shame.
What a shame.
Do you have any enchant removal in your deck, Anthony?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I've got Oblivion Ring.
I don't either,
Oh,
so
that's true,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, all you have to do is here. Okay, here's the play. You get Core Skyfisher back. You pick up Oblivion Ring. You O-ring my thing.
Did I actually just not do that? I really should have done that.
I don't know how you would do it, but it's
Well,
possible.
didn't I play Core Skyfisher? I played Core Skyfisher.
You did, but you
yeah,
you
I
played.
really should have done that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, you got value off of your citizens. You're
you
right.
know what?
Now we know for next time.
Now I know for next time. Also,
Yeah, I mean, I would have gotten Lin Civi, which is
you
also
would have
very
gotten
bad.
Lin Civi, which would then just.
I think Lin Civi's
Right,
considerably
'cause-
less
Yes,
bad than
definitely-
+8
definitely that
+8
is
to your
correct.
board.
Well, part of the problem is then he
then-
can just kill the Oblivion Ring, and then it would happen again because
Yeah.
Lin Civi can go get the.
Yeah, get the changeling.
Rebel.
the-
Yeah.
You would have to do
Changeling.
it when you also had an answer for Lin Civi before he untapped with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway. I'm going to play a Plains.
Okay. Wow. You
Revolt
think your
is
creatures are
not
big
triggered.
enough?
I know. It's a real shame. I will go to combat.
You're in combat.
Attack with 4 large creatures.
Wow.
4x Abyss.
Incredible.
They're all at least 9/9s.
I will block all of them.
Cool.
I will make a treasure.
Cool.
And go to damage?
Yeah.
Do I actually want to make a treasure? Do I want to put any of these in the bottom? Definitely not this.
Well, Anthony's thinking about that second world map. Asked
do you
if I
mind
would
if I'm
speak
gonna
to my experiences with Field of the
Make
Dead.
that a treasure. I'm going to put Gingerbread on the bottom of my library.
Field of the Dead is a card that really surprised me.
All right, then
my
I'm going to
initial
gain 3 life.
my initial assessment of it was that. Where do you get your life from?
One of my creatures has lifelink.
Yes.
Ah, okay. My initial assessment of Field of the Dead is it would definitely be too slow for my cube. And
I'm gonna play
then
Bess.
I was very surprised
there you
at
go.
how powerful it is because it's hard to overstate how little the cost of inclusion is. I mean, a tap land is something, a colorless land is something.
Yeah.
It's not to be ignored. But for a win condition that is exceedingly hard to interact with, at least in my cube, and
Right, let's cast
provides
a
so much
Hexgold
inevitability,
Halberd
it's
for Mirrodin. Mega
really quite
Rebel.
powerful.
Did I not put a sticker on that one?
Trigger.
That should be a rebel.
That should be a rebel.
It
as
is
well.
it is a rebel in my thing. I
I
just didn't
remember
put a
that.
sticker on it, I guess.
I will pay 1 to draw a card.
Whoops.
That doesn't let me draw more cards, so I'll scoop. Good
Cool.
game.
Games do go long, second world map. I mean, my cube, I used to describe it as a fast cube. It's really not. It's really a small
Yeah.
game cube. The games go long when both players have a decent amount of removal, and that's when
This is your ossification.
like there's very rarely like a big board stall or something like that. The games go along when there's a lot of removal and it ends up in kind of a top deck war situation. Even that's not that common anymore with all the mana sinks I have these days. Anyway, all by way of saying that it is good, and I'm surprised by how good it is, but it really is.
I would
it
also
al-
say
It's also like with Golos specifically, that is truly a very potent combo. If you just play some lands, play Golos, or ramp him out or something, oftentimes it's like, oh, okay, well you're 2 land drops away from making a zombie every single turn, which the threat of that is also horrifying.
I would also say for like particularly
exactly,
in a very like version like this where you really like if you're trying to play like a more controlling strategy, and you need to be interacting, having a win condition in your land in your mana base is a really big game because it means you can focus even more on like interacting and basically
one for one removal, card draw,
one for one removal and card advantage because the thing that will win you the game is sitting in your mana base, and you have such a very low deficit for that.
That has not been an issue for me, second world map. I mean, theoretically it could be because I do have 3x shock and 2x fetch. But on top of that, I also have a lot of the bicycle lands. I have all of the horizon lands. I have other utility lands and creature lands in all the different colors. So I would say that it is pretty trivial to trigger Field of the Dead in a deck that wants it, which comes up most drafts. Not every draft. You do want to be probably like 3+ colors before you're really super excited about Field of the Dead. I think it's pretty rare that a 2-color deck will be able to reliably have 7 different names of lands in play. Not impossible, but less common. But as soon as you have 3, then it can definitely happen. And obviously it goes nuts with fetch lands. It's pretty spicy with Titania as well. That's kind of win more at that point, but if you get to recur lands with Titania, make zombies when you recur them, and make 5/3s when you sacrifice them.
All right, well, I have less sideboard in this particular match than I thought I did.
Yeah.
I'm definitely...
Yeah, I think the question for you, second world map, is do you want a land that is a huge threat?
Yeah.
Not will it be good, because it will almost always be good. Good night, Tentacle Monster.
Yeah, Field of the Dead plays out a lot better than it looks like.
I was so skeptical of it, and the first time I played it in my cube, someone played it against me and stopped my teeth in it, and I was like, well, wrong again, dummy.
Well, he's still thinking I can go over. I'm not sideboarding, but these are the cards I was considering. In particular, this one because of the kinds of games we often will get into. But I think because I have at least a couple of flyers, and also like I think I'm a little bit better in general at those kinds of games. I don't think I need to potentially weaken my position where like I might end up losing a sailboard stall or something like that. So I don't think I need it. And also, there's just like most of my cards are pretty good. And it's just not better than something else. That's the issue, really.
I think it might have been you, Shindir. I think you might be right. I've definitely had 1 or 2 times where you've told me to play a card. I've been like, meh. And then later on, I'm like, meh, Shindir was right.
Yeah, Field of the Dead.
Not always about power level. Like, I just didn't think Fable the Mirror Breaker was cool. And Shindir was like, no, it is cool. It's actually really cool to get to clone creatures without having like this super high cost of high risk of playing Kiki Jiki. Yeah. And I was like, bah humbug. And then I was like, you know what? This is actually very cool. If only someone had told me.
Yeah. Fable the Mirror Breaker, like, it's the kind of card I wish it were worse so that I would put it in more I would put it in more cube. I would put it in a cube and, like, be excited about it. But, like, outside of that context, it's just, like, I can't do it.
I will be able to play.
It's too good. Someone made this comment earlier and I forgot. I thought I had this thought. So I know Anthony doesn't know anything about Pokemon, but do you know things about Pokemon, or do you care?
I am not like a heavy Pokemon fan. I did play Red and Blue, but here's the thing: I forget which one I had. I had one of them, and I played it a lot. I think it was Red.
Yeah.
And that was the last Pokemon game I gave a shit about.
Cool.
So like, I could name most of the original 151 Pokemon probably, but. Otherwise, I couldn't tell you the types of most of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's it to you?
I was just curious. Someone mentioned Pokemon.
All right, I'm gonna keep this.
And it was just like I know what Anthony's stance is because I've referenced Pokemon in various things. Like I had some response to you guys on a podcast episode. I had some response to what the competitive Pokemon scene.
That's
has
a
done
thumbs
for
down,
various
but I'm
different
keeping
things.
it.
A thumbs down, but a keep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really don't like this hand, but.
All right. I will throw my hand off then. I will keep my hand basically off of the strength of this.
Don't like to hear that.
The rest of these are like good, even if like I'll get to them eventually. But this in particular is a very good place to start.
Okay, here we go. Planes go.
In terms of like one of the things
I have a favorite Pokemon. Do you want to guess what it is?
It's gonna be Gen 1, right? So
yes.
The fish that does nothing.
Not Magikarp.
No, it's not Magikarp. I'm going to guess...
Pikachu.
Not Pikachu.
Is it one of the Eevees?
No, it's Farfetch'd.
Really?
I love that duck with a leak.
That is really funny.
I just love that he's got a leak. That's like part of his
that's his thing,
species,
right?
is having a leak.
Here you go.
There's a little kid in my neighborhood who is really into Pokemon.
Yeah.
And he'll like just run up to you. He's at the age where he just
Play a swamp.
Yeah.
two people just happen to draft
Phyrexian
Rebels Second World Map.
missionary
Oh yeah,
can
no,
pass.
we just are both rebels. Yeah.
Shadir, I was just gonna say that this neighborhood kid he's like 7. He's at the exact age where he gets really into something and then just walks up to you and without any social grace, it's just like, here's the thing that happened in Pokemon and this is my favorite Pokemon and did you know that the Alolan version of this Pokemon? Anyway, I told him I liked Farfetch'd and he has not stopped talking to me about Surfetch'd, which is the upgraded Farfetch'd, who has an even bigger leak.
It's a bigger sword. Yeah.
And kind of like angry eyebrows.
Leaks are already like as big as you can get.
This one is, I think, actually shaped
It's also
like a
got
sword.
a shield. It also is shaped like a sword. I think Farfetch'd is better than Surfetch'd. Like, I think it's cooler.
Oh yeah, clearly Surfetch'd is the
It's just
Johnny come lately.
Yeah. I'm gonna get one bird
Okay.
and then pass the turn.
I'll untap. I'll draw a card. Why did I keep this hand? It's fine. I did it to myself. Plains combat. Attack you for 2.
I'll take 2. You
I will
gain
gain
2.
2.
Life blank, baby.
And I will think about what I'm doing with my life. Say go.
Cool. Draw for turn. Interesting.
Second favorite Pokemon, Psyduck.
just fan of little dorky birds.
I just it's a little duck that
They're just little things.
will mesmerize you. It's just it's good.
I definitely have a lot of. Hey, you didn't play any spells. Look at that. I'm gonna attack for 1.
21.
And I do agree with Anthony's overall take that in general Pokemon design kind of uninspired.
Yeah.
A lot of them, yeah. Even I will say, even some of the like things that feel a little uninspired actually are kind of cool. I drew my second Squadron Hawk, sadly. So.
Oh.
Wow,
Wow, punished.
I know. I punished for drawing the Squadron Hawk. So I'm just gonna play Bounce Land and pick up a forest.
I'll untap. I will draw a card. Play a Plains. Go to combat. Attack you for 2.
Take 2.
And I will.
I definitely was of the right age that Psyduck was not annoying in the anime. Psyduck was hilarious.
I never watched the TV show.
I could absolutely see Psyduck being considered annoying, but like, no. All right. What am I doing here? Oh, I think I'm just doing that, actually. It's not that complicated.
My experience as a kid is like really emblematic of why launch titles are so important, because I just got a Game Boy so I could play Pokemon.
Sure.
That's all I cared about.
Go to combat.
You're in combat. No blocks.
Cool. Take 2.
21.
I mean, so far, he's not winning this race.
That's I certainly won't.
You've got Shouldered in play.
It's true.
I'm gonna play Bite Speaker, folks. Floating a white.
I'm gonna read that.
It's the Black Rebel.
Target player loses 1 life and search life for a rebel with converted mana cost 3 or less. Linsivvy's a rebel, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
That's the joke.
Okay.
You just eventually go find Linsivvy, and then
Yep.
Linsivvy finds the other rebels.
Looking forward to
I'm
it.
gonna use that second floating one to cast a Whip Gorder.
Let me guess. That's a rebel too?
Yeah.
But it's in play, so it doesn't matter.
It's important. The being once they're in play, they
Oh, right.
stop matters.
This is
being
not a
rebel.
one that...
That one doesn't search things up. It just
searches
taps stuff
things
down.
Okay.
Yeah. Here you go.
It's also got Morph.
Yeah, I can never imagine a scenario. Actually, I mean, that's not true. There's easy scenarios. You just don't have white, but like...
I'll Kabira take down this rebel.
Sure.
And untap.
The fool.
Draw. I will play a Plains.
Okay.
What am I supposed to do here? I'll go to combat. Attack you for 2.
This is Max's Cube Second World Map.
14 to 23.
It has a couple of themes. One is that all of the creatures are small in at least one dimension. They all have power or toughness 2 or less. He's also errata'd some other cards that are not normally rebels to be rebels. And there's also a draft packages thing going on, as we see here with the
yeah.
Squadron Hawk.
Yeah. When you draft like Squadron Hawk, you just are at the end of the draft. You'll just be handed 2 additional Squadron Hawks.
Don't love it, but I'm gonna play Core Skyfisher, pick up the missionary, and cast the missionary.
Sure.
And say go.
Sure.
Got some 2/3s.
2/3's good on this board.
That's what the Pendelhaven's for. I got my own 2/3s. I have to build them though. But you know what they say: build them and they will come, or something like that. Tap 2. This is actually kind of interesting. I'm gonna play Hidden Stockpile.
Okay. I wanted that card too.
I'm glad you
This
didn't draw
card,
that against
I'm
me.
super excited about
Yeah.
it. I'm really. I
like
think it's
I'm
really
just
cool.
Dead.
I'm actually gonna evoke this Vesperlark.
Okay.
So enters, dies, comes
Yeah,
back,
that makes
brings
sense.
Baker.
Get that revolt trigger.
I will pass the turn and put a server into play.
Don't give up so easily,
I'm
Anthony.
I
That's something else I learned in coaching.
That is certainly true.
I do be giving up when I feel bad about a game.
I do feel bad about this game, TBH. Can I read Pendelhaven?
Yeah. So I get 1/1 creature gets.
Target 1/1 creature, and this.
Weirdly enough, you can like, because it specifically specifies 1/1. So if you like give the creature +0/+1 or something like that.
Right, you could giant growth it in response to Fizzle the
it
Pendelhaven.
checks both, like when you put the effect.
It's the
on
weird
stack
reason why
and
like
resolution.
Pendelhaven and Bess and Pendelhaven Elder are like they work with the same thing, but they don't work together.
Yeah, I've been thinking of that about. I'm looking at putting a Winota package in my main cube to try out.
Yeah.
And Hero of Bladehold works, but it feels bad at every point because like it enters the battlefield tapped and attacking, so no battle cry, no battle cry, no tokens.
As a treat.
And then also the tokens are not humans, so they trigger Winota, but they basically are humans. They just didn't give them the human creature type.
Yeah.
Cards in
Yeah,
hand.
that is definitely awkward at all points. Yeah.
Cards in hand.
3. One of them, which is a Squadron Hawk.
So you've
I guess you
evoked
technically. Yeah.
the Vesperlark. Just
Yeah,
to get that.
you're
So
trusting
do I
him that
really
he has-
care about?
I could have lied.
Max Second World Map wants to know how the draft package has been working.
So, I've been like reasonably happy with it.
They're powerful cards because the way it works for you is you just draft one and you get other 2 for free.
The thing is, I wanted them to be played. Now, I think Squadron Hawk's the best of them. I also have the 3-mana 2/2 that gets other, and the 3-mana
Steward of Solidarity
3/1, and I had put Accumulated Knowledge and Ancestral Anger. So these are all things that like specifically want more copies of each other, and the thing is, in a normal cube that like doesn't really work, and it. If I were to put in like multiple copies of them in a cube, the problem with that is like you need to put like a surprising amount of them. Like you can't just put 3 in and
I've
call
seen
it
cubes
good.
that are kind of all about that, and I think it's a cool shtick, but it's hard to work it into a otherwise singleton cube with like other themes, and also put 7 copies of Accumulated Knowledge in.
I think you could definitely tinker with the numbers. Like I think 3 is probably the right number. I could see going up to 4 if you don't include some of the better ones. Like I wouldn't include Squadron Hawk at 4, I think. It also does this weird thing in deck building where, and this is both a plus and a minus, where by drafting this one card, because it represents multiple cards in your deck, it also has this weird function of just like taking up deck space, which is a nice thing. Sometimes if a draft isn't going well, you can just take a Squadron Hawk and you're all right, cool, I've got 3 cards in my deck. So it'll also allow you to like be a little bit more speculative, which I think is interesting. I am going to wow, that's kind of lame actually. But I believe I am going to sacrifice this servo to scry 1.
You got
Actually, that's not true. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I will simply pass the turn. The problem is if I scry 1, I'm just going to go search up a rebel, and therefore the scry is useless.
Untap. Draw.
Now, here's the thing that I like about rebels that is not necessarily like a good game design, and the kind of thing is where I'm not intending on like playing the cards in my hand because I have a rebel in play, and like I'm just going to accrue value from that. It's kind of unfun for a lot of people.
Extremely unfun game design.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like
extremely
I really
repetitive,
enjoy it,
extremely non-interactive. It's not.
But you know what's great is when you counter that with someone else playing rebels, and then
This is Mercadian Mask's
Say
standard
go.
block.
I'm gonna go search for a rebel.
Okay.
I guess I'll tap differently, but it doesn't matter.
I do like those kind of play patterns when it's stuff like a Retrofitter Foundry, where you get to hold up mana to spend on instants, or you have this like mana sink you can just dump mana into. So I like that aspect of the rebels. I also like toolboxes. I just don't like that this is it's like the combination of all the things somehow makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's like... Also, so many of the rebels are just frustrating to play against.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because it comes at a very specific
it's
time.
just Defiant Vanguard and the Salt Guy and Whipcorder. It's just stuff that
Yeah.
says, do less,
'Cause the other
beep, boop, bop.
The other rebels are like the protection from red 2/1 flyer
Yep.
and the protection from black 2/1 flyer, which are not in here specifically because protection's also an awful thing.
Do you have Repeller Squad or Repelling Squad or whatever?
No, I have no idea what that one is.
It's one of the other playable rebels. I think that one ETBs and you give something protection of a color of your choice or something like that.
That sounds like something that would be really annoying.
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
is.
already like
It is for sure.
stretching on that. All right. I guess I'll also use this mana to tap down your core Skyfisher. Cool. Draw for turn. Cool. I will go to combat.
Sure.
Attack with the flyers.
No blocks. Take 2.
I don't think that'd be too good second world map. You still got to find all 3 in your deck, which is hard.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting if you... Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, give people
Obviously,
3 Tron lands. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let them do it. Run all the Once Upon a Times and Ancient Stirrings and Abundant Harvests and
I'm going to cast a Malicial Bugler.
honestly maybe even
Sure.
a crop rotation.
Cool. I'm going to reveal the dog. Sadie. Sounds green. Okay, good. I'm going to reveal Spirit Companion. I will then cast Spirit Companion.
Sure.
Draw a card. Okay.
The real interesting thing is make them draft 1 Tron piece and give them 3 of each. Now that's a deck.
That'd be impressive. I will pass the turn.
Every turn, I will activate my Steward to make
Oh, I see second world map.
warrior.
I like that actually. So
untap.
put singletons of each in the cube. Everyone comes with a package. If you draft all 3, you get 3 packages.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I'm kind of
But
into
like you
that.
could draft like 2 and still have
2
a
packages.
functional Tron.
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool actually.
That is kind of cool. Like, I think getting Tron to work is like actually kind of an interesting thing because it's a thing that is not normally that played in.
There's a lot of
cube
cool
and stuff
cards
like
that would unlock in that
Yeah.
cube that are otherwise not really playable. Like the first thing I'm doing is
I'll go
just
to
jamming
combat.
Thought Not Seer in that cube and being so happy about it.
Yeah,
Attack for 2 in the air.
I'm gonna shrink it.
You got it. Second main, I'm going to cast Silk Wrap.
Sure.
Enters the battlefield. I will target your Blight Speaker.
I'm gonna make you lose 1 life.
I will go to 20. And then
Damn, now I want to build Tron Cube.
I will pass the turn.
Simply
Cube
build
design
more
is so
cubes.
fun.
Yeah.
Just want to see what unfolds
1, 2,
from.
3.
I did have the thought to combine a little bit. 1 second, I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. I did have a thought to combine a little bit the like Parker's idea for the black lands only in the land box cube, and also Dan Schneider's idea with the Devoid cube where every card is colorless, and just design a cube where you only get wastes, but all the non-basics produce colored mana, and you're not restricted to just Devoid cards. You can just play any kind of cards you want. It's kind of cool to think about leaning into the colorless versions of effects that are all more expensive and less efficient than the colored versions of
Yeah.
effects, and having to like pay a steeper cost to get cheaper
I'm gonna
versions
place
of
an Encrypt
those.
chamber and return some Encrypt
abilities.
chamber to my hand.
Sure.
I'm going to cast Vengeful Rebel.
Sure.
I believe actually card. Yeah, I should probably just kill Core Skyfisher.
That seems reasonable.
I will then.
Anyway, that cube would be a good candidate for
Combat.
the Tron packages. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
And attack for 2 in the air.
No blocks.
No, take 2. Go to my end step, and I'll make a rebel. Or make a...
Make a rebel.
It's called a story token.
All right, I will untap. I will draw a card.
Now, here's the real issue with this cube is this pile of things right here.
Yeah.
This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted, you
the
sick
problem
freak.
is, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, you're very sick.
Is,
Please, my play group. She's very sick.
I can offer you 1
I
pile
will
of magic
cast
cards.
Defiant Vanguard.
Yeah.
And I will say go.
All right, I'm going to tap down your lifelinker. Cool.
Attacking on the ground?
That's it might actually
What a
be
shock.
happening. It's more likely than you think. I will go to combat.
You're in combat.
Yeah, that's fine. 1, 2, dot. The big swings.
All right, I love this board state. So I can't do anything. Not to be defeatist about this, but this is like, this sucks. You can make all your 1/1s into 2/3s, and you can shrink all of my
It's
creatures.
appropriate that he's called the Salt Field
So,
Recluse.
1,
Yeah,
2.
right?
Because he
It is full on.
You're
fosters.
attacking with the whip quarter.
Yeah, Whipcord is attacking.
1, 2,
The
3,
only-
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like I
Now-
literally cannot make a single profitable block. Am
That's
I wrong?
not true.
Am
You
I
have
wrong
Defiant
about that?
Vanguard. Oh, you have to activate that in summoning sick.
Yeah.
Or no, it just destroys anything
it
it blocked
just
after combat.
destroy
I could
anything.
trade.
You can trade
for
Defiant Vanguard
a
with something.
3/2.
With like the 3/2, you could trade Defiant Vanguard with any of them. Because like the shrinking doesn't actually stop it.
Right,
because it's
exactly.
triggered.
I might just have to do that, but that sucks. But then I go to 8. Yeah, I mean I'm not winning by not doing that, so. I will block a Vengeful Rebel. And am I really just doing this? I'm still taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Potentially, I'm still potentially taking 10. Swords the Militia Bugler.
Sure. We'll get into.
Go to damage.
Yeah.
I will take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to 11.
Yeah, these things trade. Are you at 11 or are you at 10?
Sorry, should be 11.
Cool. Second main. Gonna play Kasali Pride Mage.
Sure.
I'm gonna play Lin Civi.
Yeah.
Go to my end step.
I'll make a 1/1.
I'll make a servo as well.
Too many cards.
Untap.
Too
Draw.
many
Many
cards.
permanents.
Too many cards.
Just love all the activated abilities. What's cool now is that I can also choose to use my enchantment-based removal and give you more options of things that make my ability
your
to play
guy's
this game
untapped, right?
meaningless.
Yeah.
It exerts itself to
Oh,
my
it
tokens.
exerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. But it is, I mean, it's a 2 mana like thing.
I'm submitting some stuff to CubeCon this year. I've decided.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
Last year, I really had fun just traveling
I-
without a cube
can I
and just
concede
playing other
this?
people's stuff.
Is it bad manners if I concede this game?
No, not really.
No? Unless you say it like, I can see dipshit. then it's
You're definitely in a rough spot
All right,
here.
so I guess I should stay
the,
in
the,
it.
new, the news.
Because that's what you're going to say. You can't
news-
say it
the news
nicely.
is
I'll
constricting.
cast Oblivion Ring.
Sure. What are your targets?
Cassili Pride Mage. You want to blow it up in response, or you want to blow up the Silk Wrap in response?
I think I might just blow up Silk Wrap.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Have this.
You know what would be a Chad move?
Say
Just
go.
blow up one of your own servos in response and say, I don't even need it.
That's true. No, blow up Hidden Stockpile.
Say go.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna cast Portable Hole.
Great.
I'm gonna put that in a hole.
That seems really necessary.
No, I just mostly it means I believe I can just like attack.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Guess I'll.
All right.
Cool.
I will scoop in response to.
In response to the hole.
Yeah.
Nobody puts
Baby in a hole.
baby in a hole.
Don't worry. Luckily for you, you don't have to play against this deck. You can play against a deck that isn't going to put any permanents in play.
That's not true.
Ready to game?
Let's do it.
All right. Does this mean I have to take?
You
like,
do.
power?
Let me show you how it works. It's very simple. First, I'll change all these things for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I was watching at least to some extent.
It's way simpler now that we have the beautiful tool from Tentacle Monster. What
Thank
did I
you,
call
Tentacle
my
Monster.
deck? Jund
Oh,
Seasons
he already
Past.
left.
Yeah, Tentacle Monster went to bed because it's like 1:00 in Germany.
Oh.
Off-screen producer is now Max.